first date. I don't do that. I was like, I want to know who you is before anything. And as I'm talking to her, she's sitting at the table like,
movies went great. We decided to like go and get food, and we got food, and we sat in my car. We listened to music, we were talking, and
like 3 weeks. You know, she was on her own though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't feeling that.
and like, okay, it got so bad. It was
significant other's love language is important, so that way you know how that person receives and perceives.
And you're in a relationship, but we like sleeping together. We're in a situationship because we've already established.
This is the situationship talk.
It's Monday. It's your girl Candy K. Lynn, and I got my crew with me today. AM JT, what's going on?
what it do?
What's up?
So, y'all, we are back tonight, and we are talking Make It Last Forever. We're trying to give y'all a little 90s R&B, Key Sweat vibe. We got Kendall with us tonight.
Hi, y'all.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome to the show, Kendall.
Thank you guys for having me.
No problem. So I was scrolling through the internet one morning because I troll at like 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and I came across your page, and it was the Make It Last Forever that caught my eye. So we want you to teach us and talk about how can we make these relationships last forever. What are some of the skills?
Okay. You want me to just get started?
Yeah, give us a little bit about your background, and then like tell us how you came up with this concept or some skills to do this.
Okay. So I started off like my career in education. I started off as a teacher, just working with kids and behavioral stuff. So extreme behaviors, right? And from that position, I was like, well, I want to help them at a different angle, which is how I got into counseling. I'm currently working as a high school counselor, as well as doing the coaching and counseling on the side in my private practice. But my kids at my high school, what I've noticed is when I address certain situations with them, it all stems from their foundation of at home. And so I was like, I can't help my kids without helping their parents. And my goal is to help singles, meet solid people to build with and then help couples, divorce-proofing marriages and making sure everybody stays with their forever plus one. So that's how I started this mission.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what are
Nice
some of the
concept.
things that you?
Okay.
What are some of the things? Yeah, I mean, I work with at-risk youth as well, so I understand. So, what are some of the things that we are teaching because we understand it's that foundation? What is one thing that we can do to help solidify that foundation of our forever plus one?
I think the first thing that a lot of people, especially the couples that I've been seeing, is that they lack that daily connection, right? Like people get so used to just living their life and getting caught up in what they have going that we tend to forget about connecting not only with our spouse and or our partner, but also our kids, etc. So that's my first tip on making it last forever, which is connecting daily. So that's through watching a TV show, like picking a series and watching it together, eating dinner, getting rid of cell phones. So I do tech time in my house from 7 to 9 to focus on just connecting with my family. You can have coffee with each other in the morning. I also tell couples to meditate together. So just different things, but it's all about being intentional with how you're moving with that relationship.
Okay. So, what you said having coffee. What are some other things like AM and last page? What are some things that you've done previously to connect with your partner? Since our first tip is connecting daily.
You going fast? That man named is JT.
I said JT. What did I say?
You said last page.
I'm sorry.
You
Sorry.
You
Sorry.
sure
That's
did.
because he left a comment. My apologies.
Connecting on the middle.
AM and JT. My apologies. Bad host today.
Ooh. The way I connect is the person I'm dating. We decided that Friday would be date nights where we would like go on dates. Like it doesn't matter like what we do as long as we do a date.
Mm-hmm.
I
JT.
like to connect on the I like to connect on the spiritual level. I
Hmm.
really am into meditation and higher powers and everything. So I like a deep conversation about that.
Mm-hmm. And do
Okay.
you, I know you mentioned like date nights, like once a week, but how would you connect daily though with your partner?
Oh, that's a good question. I know we well I know we that's a good question. I guess we do FaceTime a lot. Like throughout the day we have like free time, we FaceTime.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have conversations throughout the day about like not just about what we're doing, but like how we're feeling. We do, she does like check in text like you good, you're okay, something simple.
Okay. And then your name's JT, right? Do you feel
Yes,
like
ma'am.
meditation? I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
It's
I'm
gonna
just
be a
Nigga,
thing
mess me
today.
up today. I'm like, God damn, I don't know what to call you.
Sorry.
no,
Oh, that
you're
was
fine.
funny, and she said it so confidently
He
in your
said,
face. I was
Jay Cage.
like, no, she didn't even attempt no J. She went straight to it. She said AM in last page. And I was looking like,
I like, where that nigga
where did
I'm
this
sorry.
where is she
Sorry, JT.
Would you say that meditation helps you feel more connected? Like, do you think it's beneficial?
Oh, it is. Because when you meditate, of course you put everything behind, and you focus on what's in front of you, or you focus on what's to come. And a lot of times when I meditate, I like to meditate in the sense of me meditating for the future. So if I have somebody meditating with me, I'm just really prepping for our future and just hope we can have a connection going forward with that.
Yes, I love that. Absolutely. So yes, those that's how I promote that. Exactly how he described it. You
So
want
Last
to
page, I'm laughing so hard, bro.
I do have a question with that.
at?
Can you tell people how important it is to connect throughout the day, not waiting until the end of the day
Hmm.
after everybody is tired and the day is over to have some type of communication? Like, can you explain that to the people as well?
like just tips on good ways
Like,
of
of why it is important to connect throughout the day, right? So sometimes, like personally, we don't talk all day.
mm-hmm,
And I
mm-hmm.
say it and I sound like I'm just being like extra. Like,
Mm-hmm.
me,
Yeah.
extra. So I try to explain to people why it is important for that communication throughout the day so that you can maintain some type of connection. So from a therapeutic perspective, I just wanted you to explain why that may be so important.
Okay, and I want to be honest, right? So I do take in account of somebody's daily schedule, like what kind of job you're doing, etc. Because we want to be understanding to our partner, and so if that person has free time to connect and or call you on lunch, of course that's important, especially if that's how your cup is filled up. But I want that person on the other end, if your partner is unable to, right? Like figuring out a good schedule that works best for you. So it's all about like geared to your specific needs. For I guess the situation that you're speaking to, would you say that person does actually have the time to be able to talk all day, or does their job require them to kind of be away from their phone?
I think you stated it, right? It's about scheduling. Because if I
Mm-hmm.
have,
Hmm.
on the days that I know that I have a little time, like I try to schedule, I've learned how to schedule my life out. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes it's just us learning different ways to do things. And as you said, just scheduling, okay, in the morning, maybe good morning. And then,
Mm-hmm.
midday when I take go to the bathroom or something, how's your day going? So
That
just,
going. Yeah.
yeah, just small ways of being
Small
intentional.
check-ins.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I love that. That is super important and vital, especially if that's something you're requesting from that person.
Okay. So what's another tip for making these relationships continue 50 years later? Like what else can we do?
Man,
working on ourselves as people? Because I think a
So
lot of this is what it's about.
so with self, and that's a good point because I was like, how do I take all of what I be telling people and make it smaller? But in my practice, I do encourage, right? Like I talk so much about mindset, and my friend asked me, like, what 3 tips would you give singles who are trying to transition into marriage? And I mentioned like filling up your cup, right? And so if you're waking up in the morning, and my clients get so mad at me for this, but I'm gonna share it with y'all. For you to have a morning routine where you set aside intentional time to spend with yourself, because each day we're going out and we're talking to people and we're loving on people, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. Like you really can't. And so that's when we get snappy, or we maybe forgetful, or we don't take time to just show appreciation to our partners because we're drained. And so how you do this, how you build yourself up is by setting that time. If you're not a morning person, I suggest still doing it in the evening, which could be prayer, meditation. I like reading self-help books in the morning. I listen to nature sounds. I know people be like, "What?" But it calms my spirit
I
before
do
I
too.
get my day started. I'm a big pusher for gratitude journaling, so that's something I do as well. So those are just ways that you set up this intentional time to love on yourself, so that you're able to connect and love with your partner. Love
I
on yourself.
don't feel bad. I listen to nature sounds too.
Okay.
I listen to water sounds.
Me
Yes, I
too.
love it. Okay,
And
look.
yeah, and when
Okay.
I take baths, that's like a part of my self care. And then
Yeah,
I'm like that. I like the sound of water, the meditation sounds.
yeah.
It's
Hmm.
really, it like takes the negative energy off of your shoulders.
Yes,
That's
yes.
why I love
So
thunderstorms. I love thunderstorms real bad. Like I love thunderstorms.
See, that's the only one, and it pops up on my playlist, and I'll be like, click,
I
because
love.
I can't.
interesting.
Not with
Okay.
thunder,
Yeah.
but I love the sound of like the beach waves and rainfalls and waterfalls. So,
Sound like y'all just old having sleeping problems because I need silence.
Not while
I
I'm
need
asleep.
silence.
No,
I
I
When
don't
I'm
need
need it
sleep,
while I'm
yeah,
silence.
no,
asleep.
not sleeping.
I'm
Especially
sleep.
while I'm asleep.
No, my
Especially while I'm asleep, I need
yeah,
silence.
Yeah, me
not while
too.
I'm
The
asleep. Just
slightest sound will wake me the hell up. Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-mm.
that's just one way that I prep, especially with the work that I do, because I have to go to the high school and then take care of my daughter, take like tend to my relationships, all of friendships, whatever around me. So I have to be intentional about how I spend my mornings.
so that was my other question for you. So I think sometimes I tell people I think we need to realize that relationships are relationships. They all need foundations. So with
Mm.
making it last forever, even with friendships that we see fall apart, what are some tips that we are interchangeable between relationships and friendships?
I think the same thing, right? Like it may be harder, especially for me, because I'm the oldest of 8 siblings, so I have my siblings. I meet coworkers who then, want to connect with me on that way, as well as I have a really large friend group. So I try to be just intentional about how I divvy up my time between those people with. Like in October, I just planned a date where we celebrated each other's wins, like got a party bus, all of these things to just celebrate us
Oh, that's nice.
collectively. Um, and that was one way for us to connect. So it's still about, I guess the word is being intentional, really. Like every
Yeah.
person that you value in your life, show them. How do you
I
show
try
up?
to,
Yeah.
yeah, I try to hang out with my friends by themselves, just me and them, at least when I can.
Mhm.
You're not in Dallas, look, Catherine, don't do that. You're not in Dallas. So I at least try to hang out with my friends just solo. If we can't do that, then we FaceTime. We talk on the phone. Like we always are communicating, we're texting if I
Mhm.
can't hang out with you in person.
Mhm. Yep.
Candy K, I see you every Monday. Look at this. I see you every Monday, and then we
Yeah,
talk again
friends
on
always
Tuesday.
want to try to
And
bust
then
you
we talk
out.
again on Tuesday. And then sometimes we text throughout the week.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just giving you a
I can
hard time.
tell. I can
So
tell.
so when we get in these spaces of intentionality, right? We want to make it last forever, like Keith Sweat and Drake.
Right.
What does that really mean? What does
So
that really mean?
when I say it, right, I'm looking at until I'm dead and gone, right? Like any relationship that I'm choosing to invest in, my hope is that it's going to last forever. And so when you're being intentional, right? I already said you're gonna connect daily. I love that y'all mentioned like the date nights, which I do the weekly love deposit, which can either be a date or I give tips on how to show up for somebody that you care about that week. And I really use it with the love language. So that's how I come up with the ideas. If somebody's is words of affirmation, you can write little love notes, put them in the lunchbox, making their lunch, whatever. I've made gift bags, put journals in it, and wrote like a note to them for words of affirmations. If it's hanging out, which like quality time is not my love language, but I force myself to do that. I'll plan something like, let's have this movie night, but it has to be planned for me in order for me to compromise, but still fill that person's cup up. And my daughter, y'all believe in zodiac signs first? When I
Yes.
No,
say
Yes.
no,
To
okay.
a degree. Yeah. To a
Okay.
degree.
What's
Yes.
her
My
sign?
daughter
What's
is
her...
a Cancer, so she's super
Oh,
clingy.
crybaby,
zero
emotional
percent.
and clingy and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, super clingy, and her feelings will get hurt if
Crybaby.
I'm like,
Yeah, easy. Feels to
yes,
get hurt. Yeah, my 3-year-old niece and the
yes,
woman I'm dating is a Cancer. Yeah, feels to get hurt. You don't even have to. You don't even have to hit them. They
yes,
can just like my. I don't have to spank my niece at all. The other day I just raised my voice and she just cried like I spanked
yes,
her. And I was like, I
yes.
ain't even
That's my
touch you.
daughter.
I could have touched you. I ain't even touch you. Just sit there and cry. And
That's
then
my
I
daughter.
apologize because I feel bad. I be
Right,
like, I didn't try to raise my voice.
exactly. But it
Like
helps you. She helps me be more accountable about how I
talk.
speak or treat people. So,
That's my sister. Like, I'm surprised she ain't on here. Like, don't tell her you gonna do something and don't do it.
oh
Cause
yeah,
sometimes I be busy and forget, and she be like, "You said you was gonna do this,
Yeah.
and you need to do what you say you gonna do." And I be like, "My bad, my bad. I
oh
can't do
yeah,
it." Like, so
yeah.
now I've learned. I've learned, like you said, with being intentional though, it does. Other people do teach you what sets them off. So if I can't do it, I'm like, listen, I ain't gonna be able to do that. Cause if you tell them you
Exactly.
gonna
Yeah.
do it, they expect you to stick to your word. And I'm a Libra. We
Oh,
like fly by
absolutely.
night. I'm
Exactly.
here, I'm there, I'm everywhere, and
I'm everywhere and I forget where I'm supposed to be at.
yeah, so it happens. So so we are talking about make it last forever if you're just joining the show. And in the process of that, let's flip it like we do on this show. What about these situations that we go into that we want to make last forever, but we need to get the hell out of? What
Mm.
are some tips for
Ooh.
bowing out gracefully?
I
Being
love to
honest.
put in to perspective for people like, yeah, especially friends. So if they're talking to somebody and they're, in a situationship or a relationship that doesn't need to last forever, I like for people to see things practically. So putting on like a pros and cons list, like how are you benefiting from this? And I don't mean financially, right? But how is your spirit growing with this person? If you cannot tell me or yourself how this person is making you better, that's a liability to me. So I
See,
try.
I had someone that I was trying to give that same advice. It never worked. I had to get to the point where I was the okay person. They would tell me something, they'll feel something. I was like, okay.
I've been there too.
I don't know what else I'm supposed to tell you other than okay.
Yeah.
Because no matter nothing positive, nothing negative, nothing at all I say is sticking.
Hmm.
So I had to get to the point where I was like, okay.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
and
you
I've been there too.
you got to be honest. My partner going through it right now,
How
and
long can you be honest before
I
you
mean,
realize that they don't want to hear the
Before you
truth?
give up.
I'm not
honestly,
gonna lie to you.
a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
say,
people are
okay.
not being honest. A lot of people like to beat around the bush and think they're being honest.
Oh no, us Libras ain't never beat around no bush.
I don't believe in zodiac signs, so I'm
I'm
sorry, I
just
don't believe in that.
you hang out with two every Monday. You gonna think me and Candy K beat around the bush?
Oh, y'all are Libras.
I
Okay.
know I know people all zodiac sign with all traits, so I don't believe in that. But
When's your birthday?
I'm a Taurus. I don't
Oh,
believe in
that
that.
explains your
Right.
stubbornness.
The stubborn.
It
You
makes
live,
perfect
yeah.
sense.
Oh,
No, my thing zodiac signs don't
It
make sense
makes
to me because you pick up traits
yeah,
from your parents.
No,
I don't
yeah.
believe.
It's not just the
yeah. It's
soul
not
thing.
just no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's
don't believe in
attribute.
all that.
It's a part
Okay.
of you.
Y'all
Okay,
can't preach to me,
it's okay. Okay, it's
but
okay. It's okay.
I just think being honest, like people like to send signs, send Morse codes with blinds instead of telling somebody like this how I feel, this how it should go, this how I want it to be. Now you can leave. I don't want to talk to you no more.
Yeah. Well, but what
I
do you
agree.
do
Like
as
people be
like
like, well, I don't think so. My homeboy that. Be honest. Just be like, bro, I don't want to talk to you no more. Like, why are you dangling this girl alone?
yeah.
Yeah.
Tough stubborn Tauruses.
But
Oh
is
my.
there a balance? Like you said, people being honest. Because I know a lot of people that think being honest is being mean. And when I say stuff, I'm like, that's how you feel. I'm like JT. Like, I'm not gonna tell you we can make it work if we can't. Like, I'm gonna be like, nah, we can't make it work. Like, I'm
Yeah.
over it. I'm done with it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
so how do you teach people to push through that, right? So we made these pros and cons. We've told you we've told you this. But sometimes like no matter how much we want these fairy tales, I mean, and we've
It
all
just
been in those situations, I'm
yeah.
sure. Most
Yeah.
of us are not married to our high school sweethearts,
Right.
the first person we ever fell in love with. So I think that we need to teach to the practicality of what you said, but we also have to teach people what practicality looks like.
No, that's good. I think I went from like in my early 20s of being very blunt and hurting a lot of people's feelings because I'm like, you're being dumb. Like that's just saying whatever came to my mind, which was not
Yeah.
helpful. So I was like, let me try a different route. And even I would say the way that I approach things, right, with that advice is more helpful than me being a straightforward person. But when I reach my limit, I just say I can no longer listen to the venting, right?
Yeah. I had to get to that point too. Where I
Yeah,
was like,
it'll
it
get
was
my peace.
okay, okay, okay. Then it was like, I just can't do it because you don't want to do anything different. You just want to talk about the same stuff over and over again. I can't do it.
Exactly. And I think that isolation starts to make people think like, let me remove myself because it's affecting everything around me. So I guess like a reality check is the next step of trying to be nice, write about it, and being practical. If you want to be blunt, you can be blunt, but I know a lot of relationships kind of get, I don't know, I guess ruined if you're too blunt about somebody's situation.
Yeah, I have a question. If
Hmm.
you say you are in a relationship with someone and there's a topic that you want to discuss with them that you think is a sensitive topic, how would you say to push through that and have that talk?
Can you give me an example of a topic that'll help?
Okay, yes, I'll give an example. So my friend wants to talk to their significant other about getting in shape,
Mm, okay.
saying that their body isn't as toned as they would like it to be.
Yeah. I think instead of being direct, right? That's not what I would encourage. Like, you kind of out of shape. Let's get this together.
Hmm.
I believe in modeling, and especially like I said,
What did y'all say? Cause
I would,
y'all laughing.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna tell you.
instead of instead of, but you might like people criticism affects.
Affects people mental.
It
Yeah,
depends how you say it.
and if we're talking about making it last forever, right? That's literally
If
one
you
of the
mentally destroy
predictors.
someone, that's not gonna last forever.
It causes divorce. Like criticism really does. It's a predictor of divorce. So I believe in modeling behavior. If I'm working out, start there and then start inviting that person. Like I really would just love if you came out and supported me, like working out. I want you by
Okay.
my side. If another thing, somebody asked this in this marriage group, I told them like to do meal preps, start either meal prepping for that person, because we know diet is a big part of that, or if you're able to afford meal prep plans, like have somebody prep it for them. But just encourage encourage them. Talk about, yeah, like the health benefits of being in shape. I just
See, that's what I
actually,
said. I said you should go together. You should make it a date activity. And then
hmm
I said you should talk about the health benefits. Make positive
exactly.
wording if you're going to like talk about it. Because I didn't think about like them working out and then starting to invite them cooking their meals. Those are really good ideas that I had no idea. I was just like, you just can't flat out say
Yeah, you can't.
what you was gonna say. You just
I
can't
don't think.
just.
Not if you
But
want to stay with them.
Mm,
I say, so how do we teach this positive language? Because right, being back in education, I'm learning. Because I worked in customer service, and positive language don't work with people when you need to communicate that I'm about to repossess your
Hold
car.
on.
I
So
don't I
no,
don't care what people say. Like
no.
telling you nicely, I just from experience, and AM knows what I'm talking about. If I say, hey, you may want to pay your car note today because tomorrow I'm gonna pick your car up. People think I'm playing because I'm being nice to you. So I'd be like,
Mhm,
I'm gonna repossess your car. So I'm
mhm,
learning to speak in this positive language, and I just had this conversation the other day last week when I was like, we both fat, like we need to fix this. And
hmm
now like now we're having this conversation. It looks and sounds really, really bad hearing it back. So how are we like what can people do to learn
a little
to
bit.
all speak this positive language because we didn't most of us ain't grow up like that. Like people
No,
told you what they had
absolutely.
to say
It's,
and
Mhm,
we know how to be nasty most of us. And as
mhm.
JT said, direct. We know how to tell you that
Yep.
you fat. You need to
Yep.
lose weight. So
Yeah.
what are some things that we can do to get towards the
Ooh,
positive
that's
language?
mean.
I think exposure, right? Like us having this conversation tonight and hopefully people tuning in and just, yeah, like changing our narrative. Like you said, we grew up a certain way. I told y'all I was really straightforward and blunt. And I had to ask my friends, like, why do y'all even like me? Like, why do y'all hang out with me? Because I was that
Damn.
rude and direct to them. I just told them the truth and I thought it was okay. And it was because of how I was raised. My mom, I was so quiet in high school that my mom continued to be like, speak your mind, speak your mind. So when I found my voice, I was like, I'm going to say
Speak
everything.
my mind.
Exactly. And then I was like, hold on, you got to reel this in. I will say, speaking directly to like how you said the positive speaking, I would, if you don't know better, right, like hiring and being okay with working with a counselor, a coach, whatever
Mhm,
that looks like investing in that part of your relationships because it's going to go far. I worked, like I said, with the behavioral kids, and that's all we did was positive reinforcement. I've even had parents like come in my office at the high school that I work at, rude, disrespectful, to where my heart is beating fast. But
yeah.
every time, because of the way I speak, they calm down and they always apologize. And they look like us. Like they are us, African American people, but they always apologize. So I yeah, I guess it's modeling what you want, like how you want other people to treat you, as well as exposing yourself to this language. And if you don't know and it's still not clicking for you, being okay with with finding help and somebody to help you shift your communication.
Yeah, I say I was really blunt and I was in high school too. I just didn't I just didn't register that it was hurting people's feelings. I
Mm-hmm.
just thought if you wanted the truth, I was gonna give you the truth. And it's because my grandmother would be extremely blunt.
Mm-hmm.
She would if you didn't have thick skin, your feelings would constantly be hurt.
Mm-hmm.
that's why I
You
got
would
it.
and it would just hit you. You'd just look and be like,
Right.
but I just learned that that's how you talk to people. I
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
was extremely blunt because why not be when you ask? And I
Right.
realized you can't do that to people. Because
Exactly.
I realized it would hurt my feelings. So I knew it started to hurt their feelings. And I just had to start thinking like, well, like if I wanted to hear it, how would I want to hear it? How would I want to hear it?
Yes, I
Like I
love
wouldn't
that.
want to necessarily hear it like this because I
Yeah.
would be upset.
Nope, I agree. I
Yeah.
think if people have that capability, that's another way to think about if I was on the reverse end of this, how would I want somebody to speak to me?
Yeah, that's helped me out a lot. Like relationships, like how like just really just putting myself in that person's shoes has helped a lot. Like I wouldn't want that. So let me not do that. Because
I like
it,
that.
it really does help it register. Because I mean you should love yourself first and the most.
Right.
And if you treat yourself a certain way, why shouldn't you treat other people that you care about to be around you the same way?
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay, so y'all know it's the end of the show. It is story time. Story time. So, we're gonna start with our guest. Can you have you by chance found your make it last forever plus one?
I I believe so, right? But I guess I don't know if this is weird or if y'all can relate to this feeling, but I'm so big on like when you share that everybody doesn't, yeah, like everybody doesn't mean well to you. And I think it's just my life experience that I try to protect that that part of my life so much. So that's why I don't really post about it. Like I'm giving tips and I could tell people like what she got going on. I don't really know. I'm not gonna ask her, but I'll say that I believe so, and because of like what I prayed for and asked for, like those characteristics were very like they were obvious that I didn't have to question. Um, but I'm not married yet, so we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Okay. Have you been, and so just to piggyback on that for you, with what you're teaching, are you seeing the success rates of marriages sticking together once you're coaching
Absolutely.
your
Yeah.
clients?
Absolutely. And I guess it's almost, I don't know if y'all heard of imposter syndrome, but it kind of blows my mind because I'm not married, right? And
Mm,
I feel like God led me in this path just from my relationship that I experienced in my early 20s with my daughter's father, that it like that was the beginning of my purpose. And so I've always had this desire to help couples, but I held back from it because I'm like, you're not married. Like people aren't gonna listen to you. But I started to just take that confidence and see like you really do help people transform their relationships, any ones, but specifically romantic relationships. So to see my clients start from this point to where most people are at the brink of divorce to choosing to stay together and progressing really is honestly I'll be like in awe of God's gift. But I'm thankful to be able to help. Thank you guys.
There you go.
yeah.
There you go. AM, are you on your way to plus one, or have you learned anything from the past that you're applying to get you there differently this time?
Okay. Yeah, applying. I feel like uh every relationship has to be a learning point of like after a relationship you should like really reflect and see what you have learned. Because if you haven't learned nothing, that really was a waste of your time. And I can't say that any relationship I've been in has been a waste of time. There has been something that I had to learn by dating that person that has definitely led me to where I am. Now, in regards to have I found that person, no, I'm not married. So I don't know if I found my plus one. But if I haven't found my plus one, then at the moment I'm learning someone new. So I may learn something new. Or it may be my plus one. Never know.
Yes.
What about you, JT? Are you on the route to finding the plus one, or have you learned something that's preparing you for your plus one?
I learned something that's preparing me for my plus one. Uh, like I say, my word for the rest of my life is accountability. And one thing as a man, a lot of men we don't take accountability in no situations we do. We always place blame on somebody else. So I really had to look myself in the mirror and say, hey, you done put people through this, you done did that. So it's my time to change. So yeah, right now I'm working on myself for my plus one.
I like your accountability factor. I'm about to
Yes.
add that as our tips. Okay, and so for me, I think I told y'all last week. I know in the past I've been a bad partner. I'm definitely learning. I've definitely taken those experiences
Hmm.
and kind of walked into my purpose. So there are still some things that I know I need to correct, like verbiage. Some days I find myself like I know I say things that are inappropriate that I have to like come back on. And what you said today is about like not tearing people down because I'm learning how to incorporate love languages and
Yes.
understanding what people need to fill up their cup versus mine. So I think that is putting me in motion to my plus one. And I
Yes.
think that from one of the reasons why I want to do this show is so that people understand stop running to plus one before you invest in yourself. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
you're getting people are getting married not understanding anything, and I
About
think that
marriage.
anything about marriage, and I think not to point fingers, but I think black men sometimes think that they know they know what it takes when they have no clue because they're
Mhm.
not sometimes not willing to sit down like you said to go to counseling. They're sometimes not willing to sit down and listen to shows like this because it's like it's just a bunch of people making up stuff. But when we have these conversations, it makes us better. Go ahead, JT.
Well, let me speak on that because that is 100% true. Uh, like I said before, like I grew up in a household where nobody was married. Nobody. Everybody was just together. You know what I'm saying? So I never experienced what a real wedding was. And when it was my turn to be married, I didn't know what the hell a husband was. I didn't know. I never seen it. I always did my own thing growing up. So I do agree with you 100% that men kind of don't know what a marriage is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to speak on that directly though, from what I'm experiencing in my practice, that maybe a man may not know but I would say they seem more accountable than some of the women that are working with me. Love my clients, but that's just the truth as well as
I
women.
believe that dating women, I think it's they don't want to be when they're wrong. like,
No,
like you're
seriously.
wrong.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
I
that's a
had that
common
issue. I
thing.
was like, I can't date anyone if you can't be accountable. People don't realize, but not a minute you're not wrong. You're not being accountable. It's not always on that person. I was the person that'd be like, I would accept blame when I knew it wasn't me because I was like, I'll just be a yes woman.
Yeah.
Whenever it's my fault, and I realized it was causing like emotional like I felt like it I'm always fucking I feel like I'm always fucking up and it wasn't even me. I realized no, it's you. I'm right. I am right.
Right.
And I don't say that it's I'm not gonna say it's every woman. No, I'm gonna say
Right.
that a lot of women just don't want women had accountability. They make it hard to even apologize.
Last page. I always say the only woman to ever apologize was Anita Baker. I always say that.
Shut up.
Anita
No, no,
Baker was
no,
the only woman
no,
to
no.
apologize.
The thing is, people don't want to talk about that. The same way there are boys and there are men, there are girls and there are women. Grown women apologize. Grown women are accountable. Grown women do not can take a step back and be like, I was tripping. It wasn't on you. It was me. And
Right.
honestly, apologize. But
Mhm.
again, there are a lot of grown girls or grown
That's
little
true.
children
That's true.
that we are associating ourselves with and we're at a different I'm at a different level. I cannot date anyone. That's why I have an age limit of when I date because I realized when I hit the point where I was officially a woman, I realized okay, it was me.
Yep.
And when I was still blaming someone else for my mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's what it is. So women can definitely apologize and sincerely do it.
Exactly.
Well,
I
see, and
agree.
I agree with all of y'all because I know I used to be that person. Like, and I think a lot of times with women is because we know we can get away with it. We can, and a lot of like men sometimes y'all just ain't that smart. So, and you're not like JT. You're not directly saying no. You did like y'all can be cornered because y'all will forget what happened. You're not paying
Hmm.
attention. So I can tell
Hmm.
you whatever. And then you
Exactly.
a lot of times men
But
got
that's a
so
lack
much
of
dirt
communication.
but
It,
men have done so much dirt, they can't really argue with it because then women just know how to spin things better. And as AM said, like it is a growth
Oh, you
process.
mean they're better liars?
Yeah.
Women are definitely better liars.
Or
like
making you believe
manipulators.
manipulators.
Yeah.
Better
Yeah.
spin on the story. Like I was
Yeah.
really good with spinning the story, like
Yeah.
taking you back to nah, that ain't what happened. You did this, and I'll talk you so fast that I done made you confused. So
Exactly.
I do believe that women we got to do better in taking accountability.
Yes.
You do.
And
You do.
we do. We do, and be honest that you did it. Like, right? Be honest
Yeah,
that you lied. Be honest
yeah.
that you made the mistake. Stop blaming other people. Like, just, and I feel like that's
Stop
what we
blaming
all
your
have to do.
partner. Stop
Stop
blaming
listening
your
to your
partner.
homegirls.
What do you say?
People
What do you
tell me
say?
to stop
Stop
apologizing.
listening to your
Oh,
homegirls.
yeah. I'm a good
Stop
homegirl.
listening to y'all homeboys, cause y'all
Well,
be saying
listen,
this is much bullshit.
We don't
they
listen
don't
to
be
our
saying.
homeboys. We don't listen to our homeboys.
Yeah,
Our
guys
homeboys,
don't
Then
really
why
talk
our
have
to
them?
homeboys,
each other.
men give other men the most dumbest advice. Men can be
Well,
like,
you admit it. You admit that.
yeah,
What
but
I'm saying is,
we don't listen.
no,
Women,
no, 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 no,
women,
no.
women listen.
You
Women
don't
want to
listen.
listen to somebody.
You don't listen to your homeboys. There's
I,
plenty of niggas that listen to their homeboys.
I,
You
I'll
don't
tell
listen
you,
to your
women listen.
homeboy.
Women listen to their females. I mean, they homegirls more than men because women run to their homegirls before a man run to their homeboy. We
Ah,
don't.
that's true.
We don't go
Now
to them
run
and be
to
like,
right.
"Hey
Okay,
man,
I get
bro,
what
you
you're
gonna
saying.
believe what she did." Women
Mhm.
get hurt, and the first person they call their homegirl. Oh my god, girl, I'm down. This nigga cheated on
True.
me. Girl, leave that nigga. Girl, you right. I'm gonna leave that nigga. That's exactly how it go. Man, we don't. I ain't never went to my home woman like, bro, I'm down. Man, leave that bitch. I don't, cause I always think that you can't relate to what I'm going through.
Yeah.
So that's what made me start seeking counseling. I'd rather talk to somebody professional than a
Yeah.
nigga on the street. But women take their homegirls. They homegirl gonna be in the best relationship, and I'm doing air quotes because that's what they see, not knowing what's going
Yeah.
on behind the scenes. And they be like, "Girl, your relationship good. He cheated on me. What would you do? Oh, if he cheated on me, I'm leaving. I'm leaving too, then, bitch. Fuck it. I don't need to talk to him." That's exactly how females operate. And I'm dropping the mic right there because I'm 100% right.
I'm not gonna play with you.
Well, I hate to have to agree with JT, but I would tell, and this is my advice for women as we get out of here. First of all, I know which one of my homegirls is the hype girl. Like, right? I got two homegirls, they the hype girl. Like, you tell them some stuff, they ready. I got a homegirl, if you call her, she ready to go. Like, let's go get it. I got other homegirls that's gonna be like, well, you know
Mhm.
who's logical, and that's what I would
Mhm.
advise women and men when we're having real conversations. Stop
Yeah.
seeking stop going to people that you want them to. You already know what they're gonna say.
Yes.
Talk
Yes.
to the people
Yes.
that are logical. Like, I have friends that are degreed and licensed counselors. I'm talking to that friend because they're
Yes.
gonna give me
Yeah.
professional. Like they're gonna give me step by step. We're gonna reflect on things and we're gonna have an action plan and we're gonna
Pop
evaluate my
your shit,
accountability.
Andy.
All of that. Yes. I'm that
Pop
friend.
your shit.
Yeah, so I'm not talking to my friends that I know that's gonna pop off, and that's all I would tell women and men. Like, that's the reason why we never have to go back to JT's word, accountability, because you call your friends that they're not accountable.
No, they not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
Get your
listen to the
sister.
bull.
Get your
You
sister.
call it.
Get
Yeah.
your sister.
Stop black men.
Yo,
Stop
yo,
black men
yo,
listen to their
your
stupid
sister,
ass
your
friends.
sister's like a Wendy Williams. You just don't like black men.
Now she just don't like black men.
Every show she got something to say when I say something.
She
LaKenda's show,
agreeing
you
with
are our
you.
next guest. Next Monday, you are our guest.
Now you gonna make her come on the show. Oh,
Yes.
I can't wait to see what she gonna say. Please hurry up
Right.
and get them Twitter fingers together. I want to know what you finna say, look Candace.
Baby, she
Please say
ain't coming
something.
on here because we can't get her in yet. We can't get her in the entertainment world yet. She is sticking to her teacher world. She's not ready yet,
I
and
should
she's
teach.
good. She's good comedy. She's
Now
good.
she a teacher. Why you say
Oh,
it like that?
she's better comedy than my brother, y'all.
All
She's
y'all got some
All y'all
character.
got all y'all got problems.
Yeah.
see, now you gonna get my mama because she probably somewhere lurking, like, right.
If your mama name come up here, I'm leaving. I swear.
That you gonna run off?
I'm logging off.
Y'all, Kendall, thank you so much, sister on the
Thank
couch.
you, guys.
Tell us where we can find you. Tell the
Yeah, sister
people
on the couch.
what services you offer, where they can sign up for some services
Yes. So, and sorry, y'all. It's sisters on the sofa,
on the
but
sofa.
look, same thing. I have two pages. I have my personal page, which just has a little more like personal stuff that I share too with people that follow me. So that's your sisters on the sofa, or no, your sister on the sofa. And then my business page is sisters on the sofa. You can also book. It's on my Instagram bio. or on sistersonthesofa.com, which is my website, and I blog every Sunday just about different topics to provide free service. If you are looking for a relationship counselor or coach, you can also book in my Instagram bio or on my website a chemistry call, which is just a consultation to see if I'm a good fit for your relational needs. So, thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much
you.
for coming in to join us tonight, y'all. This is half of the crew. Y'all, on behalf of us here at Situationship Talk, we hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yes.
AM
Yeah.
JT, it's been real. Until next week. Good
Till
night.
next week.
Night,
All right.
y'all.
Bye,
Peace.
y'all. Thank you.